The ENT News Ticker is brought to you by StudyBlue. Learn from others, teach yourself. Study millions of student-authored online flashcards, quizzes and study guides, or create your own for free. Visit studyblue.com and follow them on Twitter at StudyBlue. We thank them for their support of ENT. This is ENT, the ENT News Ticker for Saturday, April 14th, 2012. I'm Kirsten Winkler.
And I'm Christopher Dawson.
Last week, Firefox presented a new browser-based video chat feature for Firefox that is completely based on JavaScript and other open standards like WebRTC. Using WebRTC, developers can enable real-time services including file sharing, voice calls and video calls right in the browser. It is not yet clear if this is going to become an official feature in one of the future Firefox versions, reports TechCrunch.
So a new study suggests that laptops do not have any effect on achievement in math or language. The study, which was conducted by a development funding source in Latin America called Inter-American Development Bank, looked at 319 public schools in Peru. It found that although OLPC students were more likely to use computers than their non-OLPC counterparts, the two groups scored about the same on math and language assessments 15 months after the laptops were deployed.
So, OLPC Association CEO Rodrigo Arboleda responds to the criticism, and OLPC has provided XO laptops to nearly 2.5 million children in more than 40 countries around the world. Across these countries, we have seen significant improvements in children's enthusiasm for learning and a greater sense of optimism about their future, increased parental involvement in children's education, and higher levels of teacher motivation and engagement. These outcomes are documented in the OLPC project in Uruguay and other countries.
And then Audrey Waters argues that OLPC was actually a good idea, but that things have changed a great deal since 2006. OLPC is faced with increased competition from other manufacturers such as Intel with its new study book, the World Reader, and even Akash, and more importantly, 95% of the world's population now owns a smartphone. Therefore, the value proposition of OLPC needs to be more than just connectivity and access. According to Waters, the OLPC represents, at its best, a desire to support literacy, connectivity, and learning through technology. But it does other things in the world of ubiquitous cell phones, which, on their own, have not transformed education either. In an effort to be non-invasive, then, OLPC ends up being unsupportive. Unsupportive of the technology, the teachers, and the learners. You can find that over on Hack Education.
And we have news from the Akash. So Digital Trends reports that India's much-touted Akash device is getting an upgrade. Ice cream sandwich is coming to the $35 Android tablet. Along with some hardware improvements, the Akash 2 will be shipped with gingerbread. However, in about 6 to 8 weeks, the tablet will be Android 4.0 upgradable. Hardware-wise, the new Akash will be featuring single-core 800 MHz ARM Cortex-A8 processor, as well as a 7-inch capacitive multi-touch screen. The tablet will also most likely be getting a dual-core ARM Cortex-A9 processor by year's end.
And in more educational tablet news, Intel released its study book on Tuesday as they announced its availability and are expecting it to be available sometime this fall. It will feature an Intel Atom processor unlike most other educational laptops and unlike most other tablets. It will also be shipping with Honeycomb. They're expecting to have ice cream sandwich be available, as well as Windows and Linux versions. The tablet also comes with a stack of software designed to support the use of tablets in education.
And Barnes Noble unveiled the Nook Simple Touch with Glow Light on Thursday, an e-reader with a built-in light that illuminates the screen. It weighs just under 7 ounces, and the Glow Light technology, which consists of LED lights located at the top of the Nook screen and an anti-glare screen protector. The light is evenly scattered across the screen and is adjustable via the menu and allows to read in low light and dark spaces.
So in K-12 news, 4 in 10 teachers, according to the BBC, are bullied online by students and parents. According to Teachers Union in the UK, teachers are facing more and more false allegations and threats on social networking services by students and parents. A survey by the NASUWT showed that 4 out of 10 teachers have experienced such online abuse. 16% of teachers have faced online insults from parents.
Switching to higher ed, student loan debt may be the next financial crisis, as a report in the San Francisco Chronicle shows the different issues society might face due to rising student debt. There are not only long-term repercussions of skipping payments or paying late without arranging for forbearance or deferment, but it is not just graduates who are burdened with student debt. It is often their parents as well. There are rising worries about the retirement hit for parents who dipped into their nest eggs and took out loans to help their offspring through college.
Santa Monica College trustees postponed a 2-tier fee plan. Proposal to offer classes in core courses such as English, Math, and History at a cost of about $180 per unit will get further study. The issue erupted when police used pepper spray outside a board meeting Tuesday to disperse protesters demanding a campus-wide referendum on the tuition plan.
And now Facebook relaunches or launches the .edu groups with file sharing feature. Soon all US colleges and then those from around the world will be able to create groups for dorms, classes, and clubs that can only be joined by people with that school's .edu email addresses.
Now, Charlie Osborne asked on ZDNet iGeneration if students would find themselves breaching copyright rules by sharing their own work online. We'll talk to her about the post on Review Ed next week.
And now, news from Microsoft. Microsoft signs cloud service deal covering 7.5 million students in India. According to Microsoft, it has signed its largest ever cloud services deal. Microsoft is going to deploy its Live at EDU service to 10,000 technical colleges in India, which hosts 7.5 million users, reports TechCrunch.
So the DOJ lawsuit on ebook price fixing emerged last week. The U.S. Department of Justice filed an antitrust suit against Apple Incorporated, Hachette Book Group Incorporated, HarperCollins Publishers, Macmillan, Pearson's Penguin Group, and Simon & Schuster Incorporated over ebook prices. The DOJ alleges that the publishers and Apple entered into an illegal pricing arrangement that artificially jacked up ebook prices in order to prevent retailers, primarily Amazon, from devaluing them. What's worth noting here is that the big three of textbook publishers, McGraw-Hill Education, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt, and Pearson, are not named in the suit, even though Pearson's Penguin division is targeted. That's because the suit is related to trade ebooks or consumer books, which don't include textbooks, children's picture books, or reference materials. These products are sold through separate channels and are not reasonably substitutable for trade ebooks, the suit says. This is over on EdWeek.
Yeah, and more potential trouble for Apple. A judge found that parents suffered sufficient harm in a case of so-called bait apps, which refer to children's games that are available for free on the iTunes Store, but that also allow players to buy virtual goods as in-app purchases while playing the game. So Apple allowed a 15-minute window after the download of the games and didn't require a password. In that window, users were able to buy what and how much they wanted, and in practice the kids were able to rack up bills from just under $100 to $338 on their parents' iTunes accounts. And Apple has since eliminated the 15-minute window. You can find that story on paid content.
Over the next 4 years, the treasures of the Vatican Library are to become accessible to scholars and the public alike via the Internet. Greek manuscripts of works by Homer and Plato, perhaps the earliest Hebrew codex in existence, and scores of early printed Italian books are among thousands of texts that will be made freely available online by the Biblioteca Apostolica Vaticana, BAV, and Oxford University's Bodleian Library. The joint program, funded by a £2 million grant from the Polonsky Charitable Foundation, will allow academic researchers and the public to pore over documents from the comfort of their own desk and sofas. It's over on The Guardian, you can find that story. And that closes this episode of ENT. You'll find all the links to the articles we covered on EduQuest. Just go to eduquest.com/ENT1. And you can now follow the Ed News Ticker on Twitter, @EdNewsTicker, to stay updated during the week. ENT will be back next Friday. Until then, have a great week, everyone.